A shooting investigation is underway at MCRD where we're told a guard opened fire. We're live tonight with an update.
The power may be out, but the conversation is on in East County.
Plus, Thanksgiving is over and Black Friday shoppers are out. But is the mad rush on stores a thing of the past? And you're seeing it more and more when you log on from other devices. Two-factor authentication to get into your accounts online. A closer look at how it works to protect you from cyber criminals.
San Diego's world-famous Comic-Con has returned at a much smaller scale. I'll tell you what makes this year's a special edition.
News 8 starts now.
A shooting investigation is underway at MCRD, where we're told a guard opened fire tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Shannon Handy in for Carlo Cicchetto. Amanda Shotsky is live at the scene where NCIS is investigating that deadly shooting at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot. What can you tell us tonight, Amanda?
Well, Shannon, Marcella, I just spoke to an MCRD spokesperson. They say this investigation will likely take days to complete, but we have learned that the person shot and killed just beyond the gate behind me was threatening personnel with a knife.
The shooting happened around noon today. According to base officials, it all started as a routine checkpoint. A vehicle came to Gate 5 on Washington Street and tried to enter the base. Personnel then asked the driver to stop, but they say instead of stopping and complying, the driver got out of the vehicle and approached guards with a knife. It's not clear if words were exchanged, but we know officials say that person appeared hostile. They say several warnings were given, but ultimately guards opened fire, shooting and killing the driver. Since this happened on federal property, NCIS has now taken over the investigation.
The identity of the person shot and killed here has not yet been released. We also don't know their affiliation, if any, with the MCRD base. Of course, this investigation is really just in the beginning stages. As soon as we have more information, we'll bring it to you. Back to you.
Sunday marks the vaccination deadline for those serving in both the Navy and the Marine Corps.
But according to the latest numbers, the Marines have the lowest vaccination rate amongst all branches of the military, with as many as 10,000 active members still not fully vaccinated. I spoke with an attorney specializing in military law about what the consequences will be.
I know the science behind it. I know how the vaccine was developed. I'm confident in it.
Earlier this month, the Marines top general and his senior enlisted advisor posted this video message to Twitter urging Marines who hadn't done so yet to get vaccinated.
We don't have extra Marines. We're a pretty small force, and we have to make sure that everybody on the team is ready to go all the time. Sure. That's our job.
The deadline is this Sunday, November 28th. According to the latest official numbers, 94% of Marines will be fully vaccinated by then, but for the remaining 6%, it's too late to begin or complete the regimen. That's about 10,000 Marines.
The issue is, does the Secretary of Defense have the authority to order military members to take a vaccine?
Jeffrey Meeks is a retired Marine Corps lieutenant colonel as well as an attorney specializing in military law. He says the vaccine mandate is an official order, one nearly everyone in the military must follow or they'll likely be let go.
It's a lawful order. There's not going to be many, if any, exceptions granted. If you decide to disobey the order, then most likely you're going to be administratively separated or disciplined and separated by a disciplinary means.
Meaning you're out of the military.
You'd be out of the military.
Those choosing not to get vaccinated can seek a medical or religious exemption, but Meeks says very few will be granted. Take the Navy, for example. They've granted 6 permanent medical exemptions and no religious exemptions for any vaccine in the last 7 years.
The religious exemption is probably the one that's most frequent, and they haven't been being granted. There's only a few that I've heard about. And even in those situations, if it renders a person non-worldwide deployable, then likely they're going to be separated for good of the service.
So what happens after the Sunday deadline? Guidance from the military services outlines escalating punishment, starting with counseling from commanders and moving on to letters of reprimand and ultimately dismissal from the service. Last week, Navy Secretary Carlos Del Toro said, quote, We will be addressing each case on a case-by-case basis is what we're going to be doing. We're just not going to kick them all out on the day of the deadline itself.
I would suspect there's going to be people that are at the sticking point and have to decide, which way am I going to go? And there's some people that are going to be separated.
And Navy officials say 99.7% of sailors have received at least their first dose of the vaccine. That's the highest vaccination rate in all the military. Meanwhile, the Army deadline is December 15th. The Air Force deadline was earlier this month. Exemption requests are still being processed. So we know this is a big deal, especially here in San Diego with so many military.
I think a lot of people will be looking to see what they do with the Air Force people who aren't vaccinated, since that was the deadline that came first.
Exactly. It's a fluid situation, and the Marines are basically saying we will release more information after that Sunday deadline, so we should know more about, are they going to let people go? Are they going to give them an extension? We just don't know. So we will, of course, keep you updated on this story.
We'll be watching. Meantime, tonight, governments around the world are quickly responding to a new coronavirus variant called the Omicron variant.
As Natalie Brand reports, health officials fear it could be more dangerous than the Delta variant, which is currently the dominant strain here in the U.S.
The Dow Jones plunged more than 900 points on Black Friday amid global fears of a potentially dangerous new strain of the coronavirus.
The markets have dropped significantly today. What's your response to that?
Expected. They always do when there's something COVID rises.
The World Health Organization has designated the newly named Omicron variant, first detected in South Africa, a variant of concern because of mutations that scientists fear could make it more transmissible than the Delta variant and able to evade current vaccine protections.
This variant has a large number of mutations, and the concern is that when you have so many mutations, it can have an impact on how the virus behaves.
President Biden has been briefed on the new variant, and the administration's health officials say they've been in contact with their South African counterparts to learn as much about it as possible.
We don't know a lot about the variant except that it is a great concern. It seems to spread rapidly.
The Biden administration announced it will join Asian and European countries in restricting travel for people coming from South African countries starting Monday.
I spent about a half hour this morning with my COVID team led by Dr. Fauci, and so that was the decision we made.
Pfizer tells CBS News it's expected to take up to 2 weeks to determine if its vaccine is effective against the new variant. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
All right, Natalie, thank you. President Biden issued a statement on the Omicron variant. He is advising all Americans to first get fully vaccinated and then get that booster shot. And as Natalie just mentioned, news of this new variant led to a selling frenzy, which took a toll on markets today. Here's a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street. As you can see, the Dow closed more than 900 points down. At one point in the day, the Dow had fallen more than 1,000 points before regaining a little bit of ground. The Nasdaq closed more than 350 points down, and the S&P nearly 107 points down.
If you've been outside today, you've noticed the winds have died down, but we are still in store for dry and warm conditions into the weekend.
I have been drinking water like crazy.
Me too.
Been so thirsty. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here early tonight with a first look at your microclimate forecast. Carlene, I was drinking lots of water to wash down that turkey.
Well, you're going to be drinking lots of water to wash down your leftovers too, Marcella. We have more dry conditions that are in store for this weekend, but as mentioned, the winds have died down, and we had that red flag warning that expired at 6 p.m. So about 7 minutes ago. Current conditions for downtown, 65 degrees, still a little shaky with that cam from our Mount Soledad camera, and then also still talking about some dry conditions, 36% relative humidity currently for downtown. By this weekend, holding on to the sunshine. Now we will have onshore flow that picks up. That's going to be into the first half of the weekend. 70s for daytime highs. We had widespread 80s for the inland valleys today, upper 70s for the inland areas, as well as the low 70s along the coast. But offshore winds will pick up yet again. That's going to be on Sunday. So that's going to bring our temperatures up a little bit more, back into the 80s for the inland valleys. And you're also seeing the return of some fire weather concerns, but it's not high enough to warrant an advisory or a watch. It's just something to be mindful of, and that's with offshore winds picking up, gusts up to about 30 miles per hour, and that's going to be right along the foothills on Sunday morning. We'll take a look at your complete forecast coming up. Shannon, Marcella?
All right, thanks, Carlene. The lights are back on in East County tonight. SDG&E has restored power to the thousands of backcountry residents forced to spend part of their Thanksgiving in the dark.
News 8's Abby Alford spent the day checking in on some of our neighbors who were hoping for a little holiday kindness from Mother Nature.
You drive by the Lions Valley Trading Post and it may look close. The power is out, but let's take a walk inside and find out it's open with conversation.
It's hard to tell.
Come on in. We're open.
The Lions Valley Trading Post did not have power like most folks out in the Humboldt area.
Yes, it does suck to be us.
Cashier Christy Wolf is getting an earful in the dark.
We are so done. We're over it.
Yeah.
Generators been running all night.
That's all you hear, huh?
Yeah.
The hills are alive with the sound of generators.
While the generators saved the store from spoiling $1,500 in food,
that's a goner for us. We're going to have to try to somehow recoup that.
The ice cream melted.
$248.
Because of the red flag warning and high fire danger, SDG&E put 50,000 customers on notice that they could be impacted by the public safety power shutoff. More than 4,000 lost power starting Wednesday night.
Yeah, the candlelight dinner, Thanksgiving, 2021.
Despite the power outage,
you want to make sure that they know they've got a place to come, even if we don't have power.
The Post did not close its doors.
Yeah. Doors still open.
And open for conversation.
Hey guys, we're open. I just don't have any power.
Okay. Yes, it's nice to have a convenience store because, in town, we don't like the city.
But one thing folks still had to go to town for during the outage.
The generator isn't hooked up to it, so not this time. Next time, hopefully.
Christy answers another call about filling propane.
Soon we're going to be hooking up to a bigger generator where we're going to be able to provide propane in times like this. That's our biggest problem right now. So, because they have to go into town to get their propane now.
While families make do,
yeah, we made it work.
East County residents hope this won't be a way of life for long.
This is going to be happening until something gets fixed. I don't know, but we're the backcountry is certainly being neglected.
Just as I was about to walk out the door,
hey!
The coolers lit up.
Oh, lights. All right, lights.
That's a happy ending right there.
To stay updated with SDG&E's public safety power shutoffs, go to CBS8.com.
That is the best feeling when you've been in the dark. Our power was shut off last year for about a day only, and it felt like an eternity.
Right. You never really appreciate something as much as you do when you lose it and then it comes back. So I can imagine that feeling of elation when that power just went right back on.
Yay.
Thanks, Abby, for that story.
Here's another reason people are cheering.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm wearing my red, right?
Look at you.
It's been an amazing, red and black. It's been an amazing year for the Aztec football team, but they still needed a win today to clinch a spot in the conference title game.
Marcus Greaves is here now in his red and black, down to the shoes. Check those out.
Yeah.
There you go.
A little tight. Okay, like you guys said, the Aztecs needed a win today over Boise State to reach the Mountain West title game. An early 9 a.m. start. Yikes. Today up in Carson. Let's get to the highlights, shall we? After getting down 16-3, Aztecs make a change at quarterback. Head coach Brady Hoke brings in Jordan Brookshire, and that move turned the game all the way around. Just before the half, he finds Jesse Matthews 29 yards out and a touchdown. Aztecs cut the lead to 3 at the half. Opening drive in the third quarter, Brady Hoke elects to go for it on 4th and short. Brookshire finds a wide open Daniel Bellinger for 38 yards down to the 11. They would turn that into a touchdown and the lead. Aztecs defense was amazing in the second half. 2 interceptions from Patrick McMorris, including this one to stop any momentum Boise had. And that turns into this. Jordan Brookshire, 16-yard touchdown run. Hello, wide open. How about a 24-0 run for the Aztecs? And that's where it would end. Aztecs win 27-16. The defense pisses a shutout in the second half. They are in the title game next Saturday at noon. So who will the Aztecs face on Saturday? Utah State facing New Mexico today, and this one was no contest. These highlights filmed from the surface of the moon, but that's Logan Bonner to a wide open Jordan Nathan. 39 yards, 14-0 Utah State. Cameras made it back down to earth for the rest of the game. Thankfully, Bonner another perfect throw to Derek Wright for a 76-yard touchdown. 150 yards and 2 touchdowns for Wright. 5 touchdowns for Bonner. The Aggies clinch the Mountain Division and are headed to Carson for a date with the Aztecs. Still ahead tonight, San Diego. Oh, that's not me. I was about to say San Diego Comic-Con. Regardless, listen, Aztecs are in title game. Be hyped, everybody, because I'm hyped.
You're so excited.
I was so excited. I was like, let's keep going. Let's go.
You know, Marcus, one thing you mentioned was 9 o'clock early game, but when you're a parent, 9 a.m., I'm like, oh, man, that's late.
Way too early for me, you guys.
Shannon is an SDSU alum, so.
You know it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like the color scheme we got going on
We got
tonight.
it. We got it.
We know what's up.